United Polaris business class always confuses me. It is definitely one of the best business class products in United States because of its seat and other hard product amenities, but the food, service, and some of the other soft product amenities have a long way to go and improve compared to a lot of the non-US based competitors. So it's always an interesting trip when I'm flying United Polaris. Today's route is from Paris to Washington, D.C., around 3,000 miles. This is our first look at the business class Polaris cabin for United Airlines. It is configured 1-to-1 configuration. The middle seats, you have the option if you're traveling as a couple to be next to each other, or if you want to stay with your family, or if you don't like your neighbor, you have the option of seat with the separation in between in the middle rows as well. The seat of Polaris is what stands out for me every time I fly United Polaris business class. I love United Polaris seat in general. Today's seats, we had 3D and 3G. Talking of the seat, they have this cute coat hook option. If you're traveling in the winter and need to put your coat, the foot space is pretty good right in front of you underneath the screen. It gets a little narrow when you try to lie down, but it's enough for someone who is 6 feet height like me. On the left side of the seat, you get some storage space at the bottom. On the right side, you have all the options to move your seat up and down. You do get the option of putting the separation in between the two seats up or down as well, in case you're not planning to talk to your neighbor. And if you're generous to talk to them, you can always press the button and the separation should go down. That's always a handy option if you're sitting next to someone who you don't know or don't want to talk to. These are all the options on how you can move around your seat. There's dial comes in pretty handy. Then you have these different buttons as well. The buttons to kind of put do not disturb mode or turn on and off the light on the side of the seat as well. Then on the left hand side, you have some storage area which when you push it, eventually opens. Has a water bottle inside it, and then a lot of other amenities. And you definitely get enough space to put more stuff in this section as well. We'll close it for the time being and then move along. This is the remote that you can use for the in-flight entertainment control, or if you need to call the flight attendant, you can use this as well, or turn on the light above head. This is the United Polaris menu. This is one of my biggest complaints with the United Polaris business class. The overall menu, the food options, and more importantly, the quality of the food almost always sucks, unfortunately. Flown the United Polaris product 4 times in the last 2-3 years, and every time the food has been the biggest disappointment. Quantity is limited, and the quality is way worse than the quantity overall. That's what lets it down every time for me personally. Share your comments what you think of Polaris menu and food. Start with the warm nuts and drink of your choice. Nuts were not very warm, so you just do with whatever you get. Talking about the actual food, you get the option of a salad with a warm bread, and then the main course was some chicken dish that I chose. The presentation was okay overall. My wife had the prawn salad option and then some vegetarian main dish, which was again kind of disappointing overall. Both the dishes were disappointing, as I mentioned earlier, and has always been the case for me for Polaris. Maybe just my bad luck, who knows. But overall, one thing I love about their food presentation are these cute salt and pepper shakers. You definitely get this small olive oil in a bottle as well. And their overall table clothing and forks and knives and all those good stuff is pretty good quality. Ironically, the food is the only thing that's not great quality. And then you've got a cheese plate with some grapes and crackers at the end. Not a huge fan of cheese, so wasn't the best option, but again, they don't really have a lot of options. They do have this cart back where you can choose ice cream or a few other desserts, which are again okay overall, nothing to write home about. This dessert was pretty hard. The chamomile tea was okay, which kind of saved the day at the end and helped to fall asleep as well, so that was something that I liked. After food, a quick bathroom tour. The bathrooms for the Boeing 777 are the usual ones. You get decent amount of space to do your business in the bathroom. You get some options, extra options, I should say, since you're in the business class cabin, to kind of spray some nice smelling stuff on your clothes or a face mist. Other than that, it's just the usual stuff that you find in any bathroom, whether it's economy or business class. The bathrooms were kept clean throughout the flight, so I would give that to the United crew. And space was decent, as I mentioned earlier. They have some snacks in the alley that you can use if you get a little hungry. Here I'll show you the seat recline before we take a little bit of a nap ahead of our arrival into Washington, D.C. I love using their dial to put the seat down. You can obviously use the buttons as well. Dial for me is something that I prefer. The seat is flat 180 degrees, and it's pretty long for someone who's 6 feet like me. Another quirky thing about United is they do have slippers in what they call not ultra haul long flights, but you have to ask for them. Slippers are pretty good quality though, but again, if you know, you know. Otherwise, and if you don't ask, you won't get slippers. So make sure if you're flying across the Atlantic, ask for slippers. You might hear, we don't have any left, but maybe if they have, you might be in the luck, and then you will get to try these slippers, which are comfortable. Here's a look at how the tray table opens. This is another thing about the seat and the overall hard product of United Polaris. The tray tables opens up and folds into two. It's pretty big, pretty long, moves up and down. The best thing is you can move it further and easily walk out of the seat as well, or get out of the seat even when your food is on there, and you can always fold it if you need to use your computer or any other devices and then just latch it back. So that's another good touch on the hard product side for Polaris. Cabin was pretty bright as the dinner service was still going on. Another thing where United Polaris really hits it out of the park is their bedding. This is definitely one of the better beddings in the air compared to a lot of other US or non-US based airlines. I think partly because it's from Saks Fifth Avenue. Good quality, soft to touch, and you feel like you can see and feel the quality when you open the bedding. The blanket, although little thin, but does its job. Even when the cabin is a little cold, you won't feel too warm. The pillows are pretty good quality as well. This is one unique, I don't know what exactly they call it. Put in the comment if you know what's the right name for that type of pillow, but it's pretty nice. And then their regular pillow is pretty soft, not too thick, the way I prefer it. So again, Saks Fifth Avenue branding kind of does the job pretty well. Even if it's a little longer flight, you will get a decent sleep. Headphones, the usual that you get almost in every airline. Nothing crazy. Will do the job, especially for a flight that's like 8-9 hours long. If you want to watch something or listen to any music and you did not bring your own headphones, these will do the job. They're definitely not noise cancellation, but close enough. But yeah, you can rely on them for a shorter flight. Overall, this is the view that looks like when you lie down flat on the bed. Pretty spacious for me. I'm 6 feet. never really struggled to find a comfortable position on the United Polaris bed. Their amenity kit, I love these Away branded suitcase style kits that they used to have until last year, I believe, 2023. Now they're using those recyclable material kind of sling bags. Not a huge fan of. These ones were really good. Always struggle to open these amenity kits though, so for the next few seconds you can see me struggling to open this kit, but eventually we'll get there thanks to software video editing. Still going. All right, finally we are able to open it and you can see what's inside it. Ta-da! Their amenity kits are pretty well stocked though, so they have a lot of good options in their amenity kit. You get a pen, which sometimes comes in handy, but I always like an airline branded pen. The socks though are pretty nice. I've been always a fan of Polaris branded socks. Love these kind of branding and these designs that they have there on their socks. The new socks, I think the design has changed a little. I prefer these older style designs on the socks, but the new ones are nicer as well. Then going through the rest of the amenity kit, you have these pouches with kind of different wipes and other stuff in it. Comes in handy time to time during the flight. Other than that, you get the other usual options. Never a fan of this eye mask. I don't know, kind of feels weird whenever I put it on my eyes. So cannot say how good or bad they are, but from what I've heard from the others, they are pretty comfortable. So if you get them, you can use them. But the other things that I really like are those earplugs. They come in handy and I really like them. Then you have the dental kit, which once it comes out of the bag, there you go, has the toothbrush and a tiny toothpaste in it, which again serves its purpose for the flight. Up next, this was just kind of an advertisement for the Away branding on how you can use these products or buy these products for cheaper, blah blah blah. So kind of the corporate jargon. And up next we have this big pouch that had different lotions and potions and a few more wipes, if I remember correctly, all in this locked pouch bag. And that's all is what's there in that amenity bag. Again, solid amenity kit, good amenity options. Overall, definitely gets a thumbs up from me for the amenity kit for United Polaris. Another area where I think United Polaris is pretty good is their in-flight entertainment. You definitely get a lot of options. For a 8-9 hour flight, you will not run out of options to watch, whether it's movies or TV shows or music or anything else that you can think of. They do have a lot of different categories which you can search. Some other airlines obviously provide this information or provide these options, but I think Polaris has a pretty good way, and their user interface is pretty easy to use and very intuitive to use. That's what I like, when it's easier for people to understand how to navigate through the in-flight entertainment system. They also give you the option of kind of favoriting any movies or TV shows that you want to save for later, which I enjoy. And then they have a different options of course, looking at the flight map, the different kind of options of lifestyles, sports, or if you want to search by language, or if you're just interested in documentary, comedy, or other stuff, which as a user I always like when you see those options. But overall, pretty solid in-flight entertainment system which does its job very well. As we are approaching Washington, D.C., we have another pre-arrival snacks that we get. Some sort of a rice dish with some veggies and a cookie and few fruits. Again, overall very disappointing. the dish wasn't very tasty, the quality wasn't that great, the cookie was pretty hard, and the food were just your usual stuff. It was a foggy morning, so this is kind of the view that you see on the arrival as we land in Washington, D.C. Overall, again, the hard product of Polaris that I always love and enjoy. The actual price of this flight ranges anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 US dollars, depending on the time of the year that you're flying. What I used to book this was the Aeroplan Air Canada program, used 70,000 points and around $150 per person for one seat. Aeroplan points, I really like them because they're very easy to accumulate using your various credit cards like the Capital One, Venture, and Venture X credit cards in US, American Express credit cards, or Chase and other credit card options. If you're interested in learning more about these, feel free to drop in the comment and I will make another video detailing on how you can book these tickets for cheaper prices. Overall, again, the hard product of Polaris, something that I like. The soft product, not a big fan of, especially the food. Always lets me down. Hopefully it gets improved down the line. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Please subscribe, drop a comment, what you liked about the video, what you did not. And thank you for watching again.